Noah's Ark is an abstract meditation on one of humanity's most enduring narratives of survival, renewal, and covenant. Rather than depicting the Ark according to its precisely described biblical dimensions and architecture, the composition embraces a symbolic and unconventional visual language. Sweeping interlocking forms create an immense spatial structure that appears simultaneously architectural, organic, and cosmic. At the center stands a monumental dark vertical form, suggesting the arc itself an axis of stability amidst surrounding currents of movement and transformation. Three luminous portal-like passages penetrate the composition, representing the ark's three levels, as well as the three distinct journeys undertaken by Noah's sons after the flood. These openings function as symbolic gateways through which humanity dispersed across the earth, carrying a shared ancestry into diverse lands and cultures. The flowing geometry evokes migration, continuity, and interconnected destinies. The artwork draws inspiration from the biblical account of Noah, yet explores dimensions often overlooked in literal interpretation. Ancient traditions describe Noah as an extraordinary child whose appearance radiated an unusual brilliance. This image of luminosity becomes a metaphor for divine purpose and spiritual distinction. The painting also reflects upon the idea that all humanity descends from Noah and his family. Despite differences in appearance, language, and geography, mankind shares a common origin. The composition celebrates this unity through the convergence and divergence of forms that emerge from a single visual structure before radiating outward in separate directions. The rainbow covenant, established after the flood, serves as the conceptual foundation of the work. The rainbow is not merely represented, but becomes the organizing principle of the entire composition, transforming the ark itself into a vessel constructed from color, light, and symbolic space. A vibrant spectrum of rainbow hues dominates the painting. Brilliant blues, greens, yellows, reds, and magentas flow through the composition, creating an atmosphere of promise and transcendence. These colors do not function merely as decoration. They embody the covenant between the divine and humanity. Deep, shadowed forms provide visual anchors that intensify the surrounding luminosity. The interplay of radiant color and profound darkness mirrors the passage from judgment to renewal, destruction to hope, and uncertainty to divine assurance. The work combines elements of geometric abstraction, non-objective painting, and visionary symbolism. Curved volumetric forms generate a sense of depth and movement that transcends conventional representation. The composition exists between architecture and abstraction, where symbolic meaning emerges through spatial relationships rather than narrative illustration. Its visual language recalls modern abstract traditions while remaining rooted in spiritual storytelling. The painting invites contemplation rather than explanation, encouraging viewers to discover personal meanings within its layered forms. The work combines elements of geometric abstraction, non-objective painting, and visionary symbolism. Curved volumetric forms generate a sense of depth and movement that transcends conventional representation. The composition exists between architecture and abstraction, where symbolic meaning emerges through spatial relationships rather than narrative illustration. Its visual language recalls modern abstract traditions while remaining rooted in spiritual storytelling. The painting invites contemplation rather than explanation, encouraging viewers to discover personal meanings within its layered forms. The strength of Noah's Ark lies in its ability to translate a familiar narrative into a universal visual experience. The artist avoids literal depiction and instead focuses on enduring themes: unity of humanity despite diversity, survival through faith and perseverance, renewal following catastrophe, the covenant between divine promise and human existence, the interconnected paths of civilization. Through abstraction, the artwork transforms a specific religious account into a broader reflection on human origins and collective destiny. The painting speaks to contemporary audiences living in an interconnected world, while often divided by perceived differences. The three portals symbolize separate paths, yet all originate from a common source. The rainbow structure reminds viewers that diversity itself can be understood as an expression of unity rather than division. By merging ancient narrative with modern abstraction, the work bridges sacred history and contemporary visual culture. Its message remains timeless. Humanity shares a common inheritance, and hope persists even after periods of profound upheaval. Noah's Ark possesses strong appeal for collectors interested in spiritual abstraction, symbolic modernism, and works that engage with the cultural and historical narratives through innovative visual language. Its sophisticated geometry, vibrant chromatic structure, and universal themes allow it to resonate across religious, cultural, and artistic boundaries. The painting occupies a compelling position between contemporary abstract art and sacred-inspired visual expression, making it suitable for private collections, institutional exhibitions, and collections focused on spirituality, symbolism, or human identity. Noah's Ark reimagines one of civilization's foundational stories through a language of color, space, and abstraction. Rather than illustrating the Ark as a historical object, the artist transforms it into a symbolic vessel containing the origins of humanity, the promise of renewal, and the enduring covenant represented by the rainbow. The three portals traversing the composition signify both the ark's internal structure and the divergent journeys through which humanity spread across the earth. Radiant chromatic fields evoke the rainbow covenant, while interconnected forms suggest the shared origins of all peoples. The result is a contemplative work that transcends literal narrative, inviting viewers to reflect upon common ancestry, diversity, resilience, and hope. In this interpretation, the Ark becomes more than a ship. It becomes a metaphor for humanity itself. One origin, many paths, and a future illuminated by the promise of renewal. Visit our website, purchase and collect our artworks, share our website with your family, friends, and co-workers. Contact us. We appreciate your interest and will reply to your questions, comments, requests, and extend our services in the best manner we possibly can.